Now, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the AWOL surround sound solution for your home theater. And this happens to be one of the easiest to configure surround sound solutions that I've seen in our channel ever. Well, configuration literally means you just plug it into the wall, they power up, and they work. It's that easy. But it's not just about the simplicity of connectivity and making it work, it's also about performance. If you have never had a home theater experience and this was your first one, you're into a treat. If you have a home theater sound experience and you listen to this one, well, guess what? You're going to want it too. And this is coming from AWOL, a company that creates ultra short throw projectors. A few years ago, we were one of the first channels to cover their brand new entrance into the market, and they made a splash with their ultra short throw projectors. They're known for being incredibly rich in color, incredibly bright, and large. We're talking about massive in size when it comes to screen projection. And this surround solution, the AWOL Thunderbeat, doesn't fall behind. It is really an incredible solution that is very easy to use. And we're going to go through, look at the specs. We're going to cover also the performance. We're going to hear, just like a surround sound experience using binaural mics so that we can get the overall experience. So let's get right to it. Now, this solution comes with 4 satellite speakers. It has 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Each one of these are 60 watts. And the front 2 speakers also have upward shooting sound, right? So it's going to give you kind of like a immersive experience that's not just playing music to you, but it's also going to immerse you in that entire experience. Now, it also has 2 subwoofers. Haven't experienced this before. I had a surround sound solution that had a single subwoofer. Boy, did I not know what I was missing. When I connected both of these two 8-inch 120-watt subwoofers and the action started, you can feel it. If you like rumble, if you like thunder, they're going to bring it. And for music as well, not just for movies, this brought the party to our home theater. It sounded incredible. So you have, again, 4 speakers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 subwoofers, and then the ultra short throw projector, the AWOL ultra short throw projector, actually serves as your center channel. So you have a super immersive experience. Now, connectivity for this sound system is pretty interesting. They're using a proprietary 5.2 and 5.8 gigahertz frequency, and they're using something known as frequency hopping, which means that you're not going to have out of sync conditions. You're not going to have issues where audio is cutting out. I've had some surround sound solutions that I have to watch my placement because if it's close to my Wi-Fi in my home, it gets interrupted and it actually stops. Didn't have this a problem at all with this. Literally, I plugged it in, all the components together, has this little dongle that gets connected in the back of your UST projector. It's an eARC port, and everything connected. And I said, this can't be this easy, but it actually was. Plugged it in, I heard bloop, 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 everything connected, and it was set to go. And I've had other surround sound solutions where you have to pair, and you see this little blinking light, and you're wearing it to waiting for it to negotiate, and then it connects. This is almost instant. It is super fast. Everything gets connected, and you're able to start enjoying your surround sound experience immediately. Now, depending on your style, you have several modes also that you'll be able to configure. You have a news mode, a movie mode. You also have a music mode. You also have several different levels or different configuration options where you can control your bass, your treble, the satellite volumes, so that if you want to be able to do certain configurations. All in all, it's an incredible solution when it comes to audio. And I'll tell you, in my house, as I was running it, we're gonna talk about it when we go into our living room because that's what I use as my home theater, and you'll be able to get an experience of what this sounds like. Now, the cool thing also about this solution is that when I first set it up, I actually set it up wrong. I wasn't paying attention to the labeling, and when I put it up all my speakers and I plugged them in and everything was working, I says, "Wow, this is cool. It just works." I didn't realize that at the very bottom of every speaker there is a position label. So there's a picture that shows your TV or your projector in this case, and then it shows where you should place each one. So the speakers that you have, the satellites, basically will be left, right, uh, right, rear, left, rear. All you have to do is plug them in. The cool thing about this is even though I got it wrong the first time, all I had to do is unplug it, move it to the other location, plug it in, and by the time I put all of the satellites in the right space, they were all connected immediately. So I was able to enjoy, again, watching a movie, watching some TV, listening to music, just like that. So Very flexible solution. So let's take a closer look. We'll look at all the configuration options and we'll just go through some audio experiences, but you're going to love this solution. It's very easy. And I forgot to mention the most important part. It's 100% wireless. There's no cables. The only thing you need is a power cord. If I didn't give it away with the 5.2, 5.8 gigahertz frequency hopping, let me make sure I highlight that now. There are no wires outside of that which you need to power them. That's it. That's it. So let's check them out. Now the AWOL Thunderbeat comes in a massive box, as you can see here. You can see my sofa in the background and you can see the height of the box. And we're gonna go ahead and do the quick unboxing just to see how everything is all packed. Now starting with the very first layer, it's almost like a cake, right? So you have your first layer here, which has your guide. It looks like this is some type of transmitter. And wow, this is a really tiny remote. So those are the three things that are on the very top layer. We're going to pull those off. Next layer, we have our speakers. There's your speaker. You can see that they have both threads here for some type of stand, and they have rubberized feet also, so that if you want to put them on top of something. It looks like they have a thread right here too for mounting on a wall too. If you wanted to hang them, it looks like you can do that right there as well. Doesn't look like, yeah, doesn't look like the grill. This material area can be removed. But really good looking speakers. Really nice. All right, now we're on to our next layer. This one requires some cutting. Didn't expect that, so we're gonna go ahead and nice support for the stands here, rubberized and metal looks like. Yeah, it looks like it's a combination of two. That's your sub. All right, so the first thing I just wanted to highlight that is my center channel is my AWOL projector. Now, the speakers I have sitting on this TV stand, and we have our left and right channel here. Let's take a closer look. Now, connecting the entire system is this little dongle here. So this dongle is connected and powered to the eARC port on the projector. Now, there's really nothing that you have to do. Once you plug this in, the projector recognizes it, and you're set to go. Now, once you have that powered and connected, then you have your satellites as well as your speakers that you would have for your surround sound setup. So if we take a look at this speaker, just to give you a sense of what this looks like, really nice fabric in the front. If you take a look at the side, the grill is not removable. Just want to highlight that, so the grill is permanent. You do have upward firing as well. As we take a look at the back, in the back there's not a lot going on here because there's not a lot to do. So you do have a mounting hole here. You also then have your power, and you have mounting on the bottom. On the bottom though, you have some nice rubberized feet that are going to really keep your furniture protected, so I really appreciate that. Now, I'm assuming that there is some type of stand system that AWOL has, or those threads are pretty standard that you'd be able to incorporate with any system. Now, the first thing I wanted to highlight about the subs is that they're very discreet. They're not large in any way, despite having really powerful subs inside of them. So pretty much, if we flip these over, there's a couple things that I really like about this on the bottom that I'll show you first, is that I have hardwood floors. One of the things that's really important for me is that anything I place on my floor doesn't scratch it. The actual feet have kind of like this rubberized, it almost feels like memory foam, but it's not. And when you put it on the floor, you actually feel it kind of like giving a little bit and then just reflexing. It's almost like it breathes. It's kind of weird, but it's really cool the way these again, pieces here touch the wood floor. Now here you have your sub, and on the back, it's pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at the back. And on the back side here, you'll notice you have, once again, the fact that you're connected, and then you have your power. And then what you have is every single speaker is going to have a placement. Now, you won't see this in the sub. You will only see this on the speakers themselves, and let me show you why. Now, every speaker has a position marker. Notice here's the TV, and then here is where this one is solid. So that indicates that this is the right front speaker. All you have to do is follow the map that you have on each speaker and align them with their position, and you're set to go. Now, the system also comes with a really easy to use remote. There's really not a lot going on here, except for the fact that it does have a nice little LED display. Let me go ahead and make sure that's on focus for you guys. See that right there? So there's your volume. But then what you can also do is you can go through various configurations, and also what you could do is switch through various modes. So depending on what type of
event you're watching, if it's sports or it's movie, you can actually modify it. Look how tiny this guy is. Really, really, really small. Now let me show you what you have on the remote. So if I go into settings, you'll notice that I'm going to go through and cycle through some of the options here. Just clicking through these. Each one of these, once you stop on them, you can go ahead and modify them using the other buttons. One thing I wish they had was an app, because while this is really functional and usable, if they had an app, I think that I'd love to be able to make these configuration options without having to use the remote. That being said, this remote is pretty handy. Now, configuring your surround sound system couldn't be easier. You have two choices, either using the remote or you can actually use your projector. And this is kind of like my preferred way to do it. So what you can see is I have the projector running, and I'm just going to simply use their included remote to access the actual settings menu. And when I access the setting menu, you're going to notice that there is an area that reads accessories. So I'm going to go down to the accessories area. I'm going to select it. And then when you choose it, you'll notice that you'll see the Thunderbeat listed. We'll choose Thunderbeat. And here you have the ability to activate it and go through these steps. Now, I highly advise that when you connect your speakers for the very first time, that you go through this menu and make sure it's activated to just to confirm that you're going to get the best audio experience. So you'll notice that here I have my volume. I also have different profiles that I can choose from. I can have a music profile, movie profile, news profile, or KTV profile. I have mine on movie profile. You also have some advanced settings, right? Where you'll be able to, and again, enable or disable like your center channel. I have my center channel enabled. And you can modify the bass levels. You can increase and decrease them. Really personalize this to your viewing experience. And let's face it, depending on the room that you're in, you may have to modify some of these things. Over here, you basically have your input, right? So the input that's coming into the system is actually eARC, but you can see your other choices. We have some information here, and this is going to give you kind of your MAC address, your firmware, so you can see the version that I'm running. And then you can do a reset if that's something that you chose to do. Now for this section of the video, I'll be using a binaural mic that simulates our hearing to be able to capture what's going on in the room. So we're going to go ahead and hit play and see how much or what we can capture of this surround sound experience.
Left channel. Center channel. Right channel. Right surround channel. Left surround channel. Left. Center. Right. Right surround. Left surround.
So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.